Welcome to the Not Nerd Show. I'm Nate Heath, and we're here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Man, you kind of made it look like that you were mad that just like
I know,
always.
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah,
Like always,
like always.
we're trying to get rid of them. I'm sorry.
Well,
sorry,
Nate,
not nerdians. We'll
Nate,
get rid of them one of these days.
I just have to say that you have put together a great show today. All the things we're going to talk about. There are a couple surprises in just the headlines. I'm excited to see your hat. And our main topic circles primarily around Apple stuff.
Yes.
But, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Apple keeps releasing stuff, so we've had them as a main topic a lot. Maybe next week we'll do Android, some Samsung phones.
Maybe somebody will release something cool.
Some HP printers.
Oh boy,
that's a little foreshadowing for later in the show.
I want to talk about that. But yes, tell us what you got.
Let us get to the hat. This one was pretty small, but I found this in the archives. Just a classic Jake's Truck Stop in Bend, Oregon.
Nice. And did you get this in person?
I have been to the Jake's Truck Stop in Bend, Oregon, multiple occasions. It's a nice truck stop, but I do not remember buying this hat there. Might have just come into my collection.
Yeah.
They just appear out of nowhere.
And a welcome to Hey Grandma in the chat.
Yes.
She's looking forward to it too. I don't know if she's talking about the hat or HP, but
hot HP talk later.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about it for sure.
Yes, and some more foreshadowing. I wanted to get it out early, but later in the show, TikTok will come back around. But I was looking in my account the other day, and it gave a promo that if I get people to sign up for TikTok or like rejoin it if you haven't been there for a long time, you get $8 in shopping credits for TikTok.
I saw that.
Yeah, I was talking to Wes about it earlier today, and I think it's probably after the whole temporary ban, and a lot of people just probably deleted it and didn't come back, so they're doing this as an incentive. But yeah, I get a bunch of credit as a creator, and then you get credit to pick up maybe one of my picks of the week or something else that you can find in the TikTok shop.
Nice.
But,
and Nate, a production note. Could you lean down and tap your mic? I want to make sure that your mic... Yeah, I think the mic that you're using is like your built-in computer mic or something like that. So you check that out real quick. I mean, I can hear you. It sounds fine. I can just hear a little bit of the room in there. So I'm wondering if you are on the correct source or not.
I'm just curious because I'm using my PC, which I don't know if it has a microphone.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's fine. It just sounded a little roomy to me.
No, it doesn't seem to be. Let's try.
Oh, and while you're looking, I've got some driveway action.
Oh, the Prime truck once again.
There you go. Your mic is fixed. Yeah, the Prime truck, it looks like he went to deliver to one of my neighbors. I am not expecting anything from Amazon Prime or UPS this time, so we shall see. And I finally... Did I tell you the saga of my UPS, like waiting and missing the... It was for my gimbal thing.
Oh, yeah. Your Insta360 gimbal.
Yeah, finally got that. And I, of course, showed it last week on the show, but man, it was hit and miss. Oh, here we go. Get back here.
Boom.
I know everybody's excited to see the guy.
Especially our audio listeners.
Yeah.
To hear us talk about an Amazon Prime van in front of your house. Didn't block the fire hydrant. That was considerate.
Well...
Yes, and Hey Grandma says, Dave's driveway cam in daylight. Exciting. Yes, we did switch our clocks.
Yes.
To everybody's enjoyment over the weekend. The spring forward is definitely tougher for me because I am DJing at the marathon, and all of a sudden my watch goes from 2 o'clock to 3 a.m.
So,
and then I still DJ for a half an hour and
this should be home. This should be our main topic. but it's not because we don't do well at planning. But Nate, are you a daylight standard time or daylight saving time person if we were to go to one standard time without switching? Which one are
I,
you?
I think for me and my life at this point, having it later year round would be my preference. So
So,
whatever we're on now, standard time,
yeah, I think
and then winter is savings time because
I
you're
believe
saving
so.
daylight.
I think that's the way it is. And it's my understanding because I've done a little bit of research on this. Anybody can stay on standard time and not switch back and forth. But if you want to stay on savings time, it's
Oh,
an act of Congress because
okay.
um, because it breaks the way things are set up. So if you just want to
Yeah.
go to standard, it's your choice to choose saving time or not. That was the
Like
option.
Arizona,
Yeah, they
I
just are
believe.
standard. But if you
Yeah.
want to flip it and say we
Oh,
always want to
that's what
be saving time, they're like, no,
because it
you
would
can't.
really whack out the time zones of things. But
Yeah,
yeah, hey, Grandma says the sun takes care of itself. Just leave the clocks alone,
that's what I
right?
think. But
Yes. And I even had the thought because I heard the president, somebody asked him in a press briefing, said, well, it's really about 50-50 of people, and I'm guessing it's not exactly 50-50, and most people aren't educated on it, but of people that want it, light in the morning when you're taking the kids to school, or they want it light in the evening. But I was thinking about it. We have to change our clocks. Most of it's automated these days. It's all this stuff. But couldn't we just switch school hours? I mean, if we're switching
just
clocks,
start. Well, there are some
adjust other things.
repercussions because then the bus drivers have to change, and then the parents have to change childcare, and then the. I mean,
Yeah.
isn't it easier just to leave it alone and let it be what
Yeah.
it is?
Yeah.
And the real Doctor RIPVHS, whoever that is,
Hey
has a
yo.
comment. We did daylight saving time on our show once. I see. This is just a plug for his
Oh yes.
podcast, but
Mark and Toddcast.
cheap. But and we discovered that there is literally no reason why we do it. Everybody thinks they know the reason, but they don't because there isn't any. It's so
Any.
the only reason is people's preference. And I'm not
Yes.
sure President Trump is correct on the whole 50-50 thing. I
Yeah.
think more people want it to go away. The part that people don't agree on is whether it
Yes,
should
yes.
be,
That's what he's saying, which way you would go
yeah,
if you would stay on daylight or if you would stay on standard. But yeah, I think
just
it's
switch everybody to standard and deal with it. That's what I say.
yes. And he says also it's so interesting that now with our devices changing time for us, fewer kids miss Sunday school on those Sundays. Yeah. My parents saw some friends, some much older friends. I believe he's in his 90s. You would never guess it because he could run circles around me. But this older, very elderly couple, and they were actually an hour late to church because they don't look at their phones. They rely on traditional clocks. But anybody under the age of 90 should have at least some automated updating devices in their lives.
Yeah.
Uh, but anyways, enough of that
Enough.
surprise.
Yeah.
Our new main
That's a new
topic
main
was
topic.
daylight savings time and
It's a
when the
matter
sun
of
gets to rise up.
time.
Hey, Grandma says, but we have 3 wall clocks in our house. Yeah, we have a couple wall clocks and, of course, microwave and
Yeah,
stove.
why aren't stoves and microwaves smart enough to switch?
Yes.
And
Well, because ours are over 20 years old, and producer Todd
that
says I
doesn't
have to
matter.
change the time on like 4 VCRs, which is a masterful skill. That is not an easy feat on a VCR.
So my car, which is pretty advanced, there's like a clock that's part of the stereo array, and then there's a clock that's just on the dash. And of course, they
Mm,
don't talk to each other, which I think is the dumbest thing. Like, why?
wow.
But anyway, you set one, and you set one of them by saying, "Is it daylight saving time? Yes or no," and it'll
Mm,
switch it the hour back.
okay.
And the other one, you just have to until it's
Yeah.
the right thing. Uh, but I'm thinking, can't those cars have a calendar in them? They have a clock, so you know what I
Yeah.
mean. They
Yeah.
should know the day that. Anyway,
Yes. No,
it
I
doesn't
don't.
change.
Luckily, I've owned my car for about 16 years now, so I have figured out how to
Yeah.
set the clock on the in-6 disc CD
Does that thing
changer.
even have electricity in it?
It does. It's got a hand crank in the
Yeah.
dash to keep the clock charged.
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay, well, now on to our main topic of the week. Much as we thought last Tuesday night, after they announced the new iPads, Wednesday morning, Apple announced a few new computers. One of them being Todd's much awaited M4 MacBook Air. Not that he was specifically waiting for this one, but he's interested in a new MacBook Air. So it's got the M4 chip and a price cut. So when they went to the Apple Silicon, they raised it by $200, and I think they had a new design. Now
Mm-hmm.
it's back down. The starting model is $999 on the 13-inch. Now I believe Todd would like the larger 15-inch, which I believe is $1199,
Well, at
a
his
little
age,
higher
that
for the
makes
bigger
sense.
screen.
With his
Um,
eyes at his age.
Yes, yes. But yeah, no, this computer, and I will say a little caveat, especially for Todd. I was watching MKBHD's review of this device today, and he said that if you really don't need a lot of power, Best Buy has the older, I believe it was an M3 or was it
Yeah, I
an
think it's an
M2?
M3. Yeah, I think it's M3.
M3 MacBook Air starting at, I believe, $799, which is still an
Wow.
excellent computer. But with this new one, not only did they lower the price $200, they doubled the base RAM and storage. So you're getting, I believe it's 256 storage and 16 gigabytes of the unified RAM on this bad boy. So much like the question I asked in our show thumbnail, the Mac for everyone, I would have a hard time. 99% of people, I would have a hard time recommending any other Mac to them at this point, unless there's a specific use case or they were some super user. But if they're a super user, they're not going to be asking me for advice. I myself have the M1 Max MacBook Pro 16-inch. If I was looking to replace this computer, I would heavily consider the M4 MacBook Air. It's a little lighter. It still has almost everything I need. The screen's not quite as good, but man, I mean, I don't know if you agree with that, Dave, but
Well,
it's a beautiful computer, especially starting at $1,000.
it is beautiful. I do think you buried the lead a little bit. Look at the color. They have a blue
Yes,
version, so if
yes,
you want
and
a different color, you got to get the new one. So
And an important point on this, I believe it was last week, discussing the MacBook Air colors, and I said they were the LaCroix of device colors.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure MKBHD has been watching our show because he, with his, 30 million followers, he
a
said that
couple
this
more than
new
ours.
blue on the MacBook Air is, it's like the LaCroix of blues. And I
Yes,
said, oh,
he
not
does
trademarked.
watch. He's one of the 4 subscribers that we have. I'm
Yes,
pretty
yeah.
sure.
The biggest tech YouTuber in the world.
So there's one caveat. Um,
Yes.
where I work, a lot of the administrative staff has to plug into TVs and projectors and all those things. And we are
Mm,
slowly getting Apple TVs on everything so you can
yes.
project. But having the built in HDMI port and the built in SD card reader is good for those who are either in a corporate environment or if you're like a photographer and you just want to stick the SD card right in the side.
Yes.
So I do the procurement of electronic items at our place. So for those staff members, I've been heavily leaning towards the Pro machines, which offer those
Yes.
ports in addition to the USB-C ports. That way they don't have to carry around dongles all the time.
No, that's what I
Yeah.
remembered I had a anchored dongle on my floor here with all the different ports. Yeah, that would be,
And we
I
have
would give
one.
you that.
We
Now,
we have one and possibly 2 computers that don't have those ports where the USB-C ports are breaking because people are
Oh, oh,
dangling the dongles off of there
um,
and breaking the stuff. And so it's like, do you spend a little bit, the same price basically as a dongle for the upgrade so that you don't have broken ports and have to carry a dongle around? So
yes,
those are the things I
yes.
struggle with.
Yeah, so I didn't think about those things. I don't use those ports much on mine
Yeah, for
anymore,
you,
but
just, you know, just get the cheaper one. I mean,
yeah,
if you're not using that, I agree.
yeah, yeah. And MKBHD, I mean, he in his review, he really said that it is such a great computer that the power wise, you can do just about everything. They did upgrade this one where it can run two 6K external monitors and have the screen open. I think on the last one, if you want two external monitors, you had to close the screen.
Yeah.
So, an external monitor. Now, he did briefly mention the M4 Mac Mini, which I believe is $500, which, if you are completely stationary, never need to move your computer, that would be a great option for you and
Mm-hmm.
you would save more money. But I wonder how many people absolutely never could use their computer in a different spot.
Well, I probably could. This this
You
computer,
have used iMacs. You've been an iMac guy. I
yeah.
know, friend of the show, Wes. He's an iMac guy, and I'm always like, when he's traveling and stuff, I'm just like, but you don't have your computer. And I know that I am a very unique case
Mm-hmm.
because
Well,
I
your business,
take my laptop when I go to the bathroom. I mean, when I go to the grocery store.
right?
Ooh, that's a video idea. Be on my laptop while I'm shopping for groceries.
That would be something to see. But it's. I'm wondering if people would stare more at your mustache or your computer that you
Yes,
have in
yeah.
your
Don't
cart.
want to take away from the mustache.
Yeah. Anyway,
Uh,
these are all great topics, but I think I could get away with having a Mac Mini here at home, two monitors, because I have the third one over here with a laptop, but I don't
yeah,
really need it. And then I would just use Jump Desktop to connect back with my iPad
iPad.
if I need to
Yeah,
do something at home or on the computer, with the caveat of when it doesn't work, you're kind of hosed. But
yes,
in those cases, oh well, that's what
yes,
happens.
yes. There are very few people like me that are laptop first in their life in general. I do use my phone a lot, but whenever I need to do something, I like to have my laptop. But so yeah, M4 MacBook Air. One of the articles I linked to is the title is "The Rare Product I'd Recommend to Everyone." I believe that was from 9 to 5 Mac, and yeah, I think for the
You
most
agree?
part, again, if you know you need more than the MacBook Air can do, you're going to know that you need more that can do if you're doing heavy video rendering or 3D or AI processing.
But the
You might need
chances
some of
that
this.
the MacBook Air is faster than your current computer are very high. So it would
Yes,
still be
yes.
an improvement over what you're doing currently.
Yes, that is true. But they did announce another computer that I feel like very few people need, but it is still an important computer in the lineup. It's the Mac Studio, which they released the first one a couple years ago. This was kind of in between the Mac Mini and a Mac Pro. It's taller and it's got more stuff on it. Um, but I mean, it's a very high powered machine. Now, this one can come with the M4 Max chip or a new M3 Ultra chip, which is a little bit confusing that the
Yeah.
older generation, but it's basically two M3, I believe, Max chips that are kind of soldered together and give you lots of power.
Yeah. So yeah, in this example that I have here on the screen, the M3 Ultra chip would be faster than the M4 Max just because it has more of everything. And the 3, 4, 5, all those numbers really kind of designate the generation. It
Yes.
doesn't necessarily say that it's better in every way. They usually are, but
Yeah.
it's they'll change the design, they'll add or subtract cores, or they'll change the way the cores work. So it's not a one to one guarantee that if it's the next
Yes.
generation that it's automatically faster. And
Yeah,
that
and
was the
that
case with I think the M2 to the M3, or one of those generation
no.
changes. It was like, they're closer than you think they are. They are.
Yes, yes. The M4 was a big leap, but being able to do this M3 Ultra, I'm looking at some specs on the Apple page, just kind of one of their images, and it's got like double all the CPU and GPU cores you can get up to and more total RAM. But that doesn't mean it's going to be twice as fast because the M4 chip has things on top of the M3 chip. Again, for the listener, you don't care because you
Yeah.
are not going to buy a Mac Studio. I could see maybe Wes with as much video work, and since he uses an iMac,
That guy won't
getting a
even
nice
buy a
monitor.
drone. What are you talking about?
Oh, I was talking to him today. He has a new product to talk to you about
Oh, okay.
sometime, but those start the M4 Max Mac Studio starts at $2,000, no monitor included. That does have 36 gigs of RAM and 512 storage, and then the M3 Ultra starts at $4,000 with 96 gigs of memory and a terabyte of storage. So those are both workhorses of computers um, that are supercharged. But they've got lots of pretty graphics on their
Yeah.
website,
I'm
as
just
Apple is
scrolling
wont
up
to
and
do.
down the website, and this
But if
magic
you
is happening.
need 18 streams of 8K ProRes video playback and 5 displays, you probably need the Mac Studio.
I
But if
could
you're
use
dealing
5
with,
displays.
yeah, 18 streams of 8K ProRes video is absolutely bonkers. I mean, you got to be at Mr. Beast level to be able to use that
I do
stuff.
have one
But
question. So I have the Pro chip. I have the M3 Pro, which means I can hook up 2 external monitors in addition to my built-in laptop
yeah,
screen. But you may be saying, "But Dave, you don't know, but I have a monitor here and I have one up there because you'll see me looking at it. But there's also one behind me. What's going on back here?" Well, I have an Apple TV connected to that and I'm using Air
mm.
Display. So my question is, how many Air displays can you use on one
Oh,
computer? Could I have 3 Apple TVs and then send information to all 3 if
I
they're
th-
hooked to monitors?
I think you can only air air display to one device at a time.
I guess
That's
it's
it.
I guess it's for me to find out and
Yes,
report back.
yes. You've got some work to do,
But
but
I
yes,
really have 4 monitors going right now from my computer, which is
yeah,
pretty cool.
yes, it is. But yeah, so that was the new computers last week. There might be some more stuff. I don't know if this month there are some other products Apple's talked about. Some of it might be delayed with the not news we talked about last week about some of their AI, which turned out to be everybody was talking about that they're delaying some of their conversational Siri until next year.
Mm.
But we'll see how all that works out. But if you need a new computer, now is a good time to
It's
pick one up.
it's the best time to buy a Mac right when they come out.
Yes, yes, indeed. Well, you know what else it's the best time for, Dave?
I do not know.
Dave's pro tip of the week.
I actually did know. I was reading the show notes. So, as I say many times, this is just going to be quick and simple. Quick and simple.
We need a special sounder for that one, a drum roll,
Well, I'll
a
share a story
rim shot.
to make this a little bit longer. Today at work, as I desperately needed to go to the restroom and had finished a long meeting, someone caught me and said, "Hey, I have a quick question." And I was like, "Okay,
Mm.
as long as it's quick,
Can you
or there's going to
wait
be
for
a
me to go to the
problem."
bathroom?
There's
Yes.
going to be a problem. So I go in there, and the person says, "Hey, we did our presentations and connected our computers to the screen like I was talking about, and ever since then the sound hasn't worked." And I'm like, "Well, that's an easy fix. Your sound source got
Mm.
changed to something else and didn't get changed back." And so I went up and changed it, still the same. You click the volume up and down, and it gives the old not nerd symbol, the circle with the line through it. Like, don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, when's the last time you restarted your computer? And then this person says, the Carter administration. So they restarted the computer, and lo and behold, the volume worked again. And so, all that is to say, my pro tip for today, I took it from a quote from Marav Yoravifikar of datasecurity.com, I think is the website. But there's an article I found. It's from 2 or 3 years ago on Forbes, titled 20 Experts Smart but Simple Tech Tips for Everyday Users. And item number, let's scroll down and let's just see. I think it's 5. No. There's a lot of good ones on there.
It's almost like our...
where is that?
For every letter of the alphabet, always B. They should have been a little more creative like we were.
Well, why can't I find it now? But anyway, I've
took it off there.
I've read the thing. Anyway, Mirev says, shut down and restart your devices regularly. There are a lot of apps that run in the background and take up memory, slowing your device and shortening battery life. You can stop all these processes by simply shutting the device down. A bonus is that it's also a reminder to look up from the screen every once in a while. So you're not just buried in your stuff. But this tip is a multi-device, multi-platform tip. It will work on your Macintosh. It'll work on your Linux machine, your Windows PC, your iPhone, your Android, your Windows Phone, if you still have one of those. It'll even work on devices such as the Palm Treo. Or perhaps you have in your repertoire a old Kindle that came from Chelsea Heath. Or maybe you've got a less old one. Or maybe you've got a modern Kindle as well that you might want to restart, and a bevy of other devices I have here, and it works. Restart the device, fixes 90% of your problems. So that's the tip.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it on the show that I was working with a client the other day and said their computer was going kind of slow. And on Windows computers, I go into the task manager and the performance tab, and on the CPU, it'll tell you how long it's been. There's a command you can do on Apple to find out, or maybe deep in the system profiler or something. But it had been like 39 days since a restart. I said, hey, you know what? Why don't you restart that and then let me know how it's doing? And it was lovely after that. So
it fixes a multitude of computer sins.
Yes.
And you might be saying, why? Like, I have an iPad. Why would it ever need there's no fan or anything running in that thing. It's just a solid state chip. It's because all these devices are built by people and programmed by people, and people are not perfect. So nor are any of the devices that they create or program. So that's why. That's the answer.
Yes, it is. Well, that is a good reminder. Don't always be restarting, but
no.
Especially if you notice, like I get that. I had it this morning on my super powerful MacBook Pro. I was like, the mouse was kind of jumpy and it was just slow respond to things. And I'm like, I've done a lot of stuff on here. It's probably time for a restart. Restart it. And the new modern computers, they restart so fast. It isn't like old Mirov was telling us that you can go for a walk in the park. It's like 45 seconds. I'm back up and running with all my windows open and everything. So
it's a quick thing. One thing you don't want to restart is this podcast. You want to watch it through and then restart it later.
Oh,
so don't turn it off now. But
restart it after you're done. You restart to make sure you didn't miss anything, especially like things, everyone's favorite segment, just the headlines. And Hey Grandma says, when it's acting weird, restart. Doesn't rhyme.
No, it rolls right off the tongue.
When your computer farts, restart.
Yeah, that's getting closer. I like the. I don't know what to be considered a non sequitur. I'm still trying to figure out what that word means, but the whole, you think it's going to be one thing or whatever, but it's like when in doubt, throw it out, right? When your computer's not running well, restart it. That's the same.
Yes.
It's not sexy, but
You'll
it's the
never
same.
forget it.
Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't want to look at that again.
Yeah, we want to get back to the driveway cam.
Yeah, nothing's going on. Man,
No.
I'm glad I showed some activity earlier. People think this is just a still photo.
You have to squint and look way back into the back and see out on the street. I saw a couple cars drive by, but
yeah, you
a
don't
quiet eve in your neighborhood.
You don't want to go to the next section yet, because this is the time of the show where I try to remember which keyboard shortcut it is to zoom into my Apple Notes, and I found I did it through
Command Shift period to zoom in Apple Notes.
I need to make a label. You know what I need to do? Since this is a podcast for highly technical people. I'm kidding. It's the Not Nerd podcast. But I have the Stream Deck over here. I could maybe program a button that does it automatically. So
yeah.
See. More on that later. I can't remember what the first thing I was gonna check on, but anyway. What time is it, Nate?
It is time for Just the Headlines.
Firmware update bricks HP printers, makes them unable to use HP cartridges.
Volkswagen to bring back physical buttons to all vehicles.
NASA uses GPS on the moon for the first time.
Denmark Postal Service to stop delivering letters.
New Zealand's 16 billion, that's with a B, public health system runs on a single Excel spreadsheet.
Fortnite coming to iPhones in Brazil as Apple is forced to allow side loading.
And last but not least, King Charles releasing his own Apple Music playlist.
Bringing the heat, and those are just the headlines. Oh, there's some doozies in there.
Yeah, I watched the little video that they made on King Charles, and he's like, it was like the Hokey Pokey or some locomotion. I think it's due to locomotion. He's like, when this came out, and he's like, I makes it hard for me to sit still. And the movement was this. He was kind of moving his fingers.
That's his maximum movement. Oh.
Don't tear a ligament there, King.
Yeah. And hey, Grandma asked a good question. What is side loading? So on Android, this has always been possible, but iOS has not allowed it. Side loading is where you can install an app from outside the App Store, much like on your computer. You can install apps from a website or anything. So Apple in the European Union was required to do this. And so they have some pretty stringent requirements. You have to apply to be a secondary app store. But one of the big ones that always comes up is Epic, the makers of Fortnite, because that was banned from iPhones and Apple devices because they didn't like each other. And so that's always the first thing people are excited for, is that you'll be able to play Fortnite on your iPhone again.
Yeah, so you can just hook it to a computer or another alternate store, move it over without the manufacturer's knowledge or even permission, if you feel like you have to have permission. And in fact, the reason I have the stack of Kindles out here is because there's this annoying thing that if you don't pay a $20 tax, you get ads on your Kindle.
Oh yeah, on the home screen.
But you can hack these by side loading software from your computer to bypass all that stuff and basically convert it into your own device. So that would be a method as well. I failed, as you can see. There's still ads on that.
Yes, and the reason why Apple is not allowed it is because of security and privacy concerns if they're not able to. Every once in a while, something slips through in the App Store, but they have control over what you're loading, whether you agree with that or not. But yeah, when you have these third-party app stores, you can have nefarious apps or things that Apple typically wouldn't allow on their devices or don't think are best for you to have on your devices.
Mm-hmm.
So that is an excellent question.
Question.
She even gave us a thumbs up for our explanation. So now we can move on to our takes of the week. And I think I had this one on just the headlines a week or two ago, but it is official: YouTube Premium Lite. So I am a huge fan. Previous pick of the week, YouTube Premium, where you pay a fee and you do not get any ads on YouTube. And Premium Lite is a cheaper version, which will make it mostly ad-free.
That's what scares me, because a lot of these TV people, if this is the model, and it pretty much is just like your TV, they'll be like, okay, there's the ad-free experience, and then there's with ads. And so you're like, oh, I'll pay $12 for the ad-free experience. And then they do stuff like this, and they'll be like, well, it's going to be some ads now. Like, we can't control some of the ads with some partner things. And then they usually do this when they raise the price. And you're like, well, I'm paying more and I'm getting some ads. And then you'll be like, well, I want to pause the program to go to the restroom. And then an ad will show up on the television. So then they add another layer of ads. So pretty soon you're going to be paying with three price upgrades for an ad experience when you started out with an ad-free experience. So I take a little exception to this, because I think this is how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, the premium is ad-free, but then they're going to start sneaking in ads into the ad-free thing. Anyway.
And probably some of it is they want you to try out the light version, and then you'll go, I want all my ads gone. So I pay for the YouTube Premium. It's currently $14 a month. It used to be, I think, $7 or $8, like the light is now. And
my point exactly.
Yes. So the premium, you get no ads on YouTube. You get music and music videos ad-free. And one of the things that I use quite a bit, and I know you have workarounds, Dave, for this, but being able to download videos to save for, if you're going to be without service or on a plane, and background play. I use YouTube background play on my phone all the time, because I do most of my audio and video consumption. It only becomes audio when my phone's in my pocket through YouTube now. And so that background play is very key. I can have the picture-in-picture. Is that still working for you, Dave, if you do it like through Safari?
Yeah, so really the only trick, and this should be the pro tip of the week, is Brave browser. The Brave browser for your computer and for your iOS device, I don't know about Android, will block YouTube ads. Just, you don't have to do anything. It just blocks the ads. And when you're in full screen on your phone and swipe up, it retains the video when it plays it in a window. Okay. So the background, virtually creating the background. And if you turn your device off or put it in standby mode and tap the screen, you can resume the audio, and the audio will just play. So it just seems to work. I mean, there's really not a bunch of hacks and workarounds. It's just simply using the Brave browser in those.
Yes. I for the convenience of being able to use the YouTube app, I do pay for the premium. Now, if you remember those features, basically no ads anywhere, plus downloads and background play. The new Premium Lite at only $7.99 a month. It says most videos ad-free: gaming, fashion, beauty, news, and more, which is a very vague way to put it.
Yeah. And one caveat on the Brave thing is you mentioned the app. So if I put the YouTube app on my devices, they will still have ads. It doesn't block any of that stuff. The first party applications are still, you have to have a subscription. But if you just access the website, that's where you have the functionality to do more things.
Then when it gets to the music and music videos ad free, that is not included. So that's a big one. And I think that's with music licensing and everything that they don't take away ads there, which I don't know how many people use YouTube Music or watch music, a lot of music videos there. And then you do not get the downloads and background play. So I think this is just much like the iPhone 6E. They want to get you in the door, or that iPad lowest generation. It's like, oh, I'm going to look at this. And then you use it for a while and you're like, oh, this is kind of good. I could use more of this. And then you would bump up to the premium. I think $14 a month is ridiculously high, but
I mean, it's more than most of the streaming services. I think even HBO Max or whatever they call it these days, which is usually like a premium experience with high quality television and movies and all this stuff, it's like $10 or $11 or something like that. So
yeah, which I actually got a deal for $2.99. Yeah, plans start at $10 a month, but that might be the ad supported.
It could be. What I would like to see, I would like to see a Premium Lite service that was $4.99 and gives me all ad free. I don't care about the music and I don't really care about the downloads and background play. So if you could just give me the experience with no ads for an affordable price, I think I might pay for it, because it'd be nice to use the app and not worry about the web browser and stuff.
And hey, Grandma, so it wouldn't be ad free through the app if you paid for premium. No, Dave's talking about his little workaround going through the web browser.
Yeah.
When I pay for premium, I get, and they do have a family plan as well. I just pay for the one because I love being a child. She gets my ad free for free on her account. But my phone, my iPad, my computer, and my Apple TV, I get premium as long as I'm signed into my account.
Yeah, and to be clear, on my iPad, my phone, and my computer, I just use the Brave web browser. I don't have the app installed on any of those devices.
Yes, until they find a workaround for that. But yeah, YouTube Premium Lite, I don't know that it's worth it. If you are sick of the ads, maybe try Dave's trick and use the Brave browser, or pay for premium and just go for it.
Support if it's Google. Really useful to you, it's worth paying for.
Yeah. Our next one, I thought this was interesting, Dave. If you remember at CES, we were a little surprised to see how large TCL's booth was.
Yes.
They were on par with Samsung and Sony and LG, all these big devices. Well, I found out some of the reason in this article. TCL's premium TV shipments more than double year on year, overtaking LG. So they are now the second premium TV provider, besides Samsung's far and away number one. But TCL, I mean, my TCL 55-inch TV was $300. They're kind of known as super cheap TVs, but they have a premium line, some of which we got to see in Vegas. But they have really taken some market share away. Like, if you would have told me before this article that TCL is a player in the premium TV market, I would have said, well, yeah, behind Samsung, LG, and whoever else
Vizio
is doing them.
Or whoever. Yeah, they used Sony. To be kind of a budget model. Now, do you know where TCL is from? Because Samsung is from South Korea, as is LG. Is TCL also South Korean?
It is Chinese.
Is it Taiwan? Is that what TCL is?
It says the Chinese giant has overtaken its Korean rival, LG.
Okay.
And Samsung is also Korean. So, China once again is moving on up.
There we are. I've got the screen up here with Samsung falls to a 29% of the market share in 2024 over their 41% share just a year prior. So everybody's kind of growing and moving and pushing Samsung out a little bit.
Yes, they're losing their share. But I know I always look for a bargain, but I do not know who needs a premium TV. Dave, who is the person, besides they have so much money, they don't know how to spend it? like my $300, even my free tele TV that I'm still going to make that video about, is perfectly fine.
So,
I don't know. I don't need they've got a list of them somewhere here in the article. The QD, mini LED, QD LCD, nano cell, LCD, 8K, QD OLED, WOLED, micro LED.
Well, what has happened is everything's been commoditized. Is that the word? Commoditized. Where we have very high quality components coming out of the factories, whereas like 10 years ago, even the cheapest TV today is better than the best TV 10 years ago. And so all the panels are great. And so they're having to differentiate with their software, which is still really terrible, and all their features and all this stuff. Like, for example, I paid a ridiculous amount for my frame TV just because it's this thin and it hangs on the wall and it looks like a piece of art.
I guess you are a premium TV.
I guess I am. But I did see a Best Buy clearance on one of the previous models for like, it was ridiculous. It was like $500 or $400 or something like that. I almost wanted to buy it just to have a second one because I'm like, that's so much cheaper than what I paid for this thing.
So and we did see at CES there was Hisense and a couple other brands that had the frame type TVs, so there is competition.
They're coming, but I think what you're seeing is all the panels look really good. They're really good, even the cheapest ones, and so the delta between good and bad is so much lower that like normal people shouldn't even have to worry about it. Just buy the cheap one at Walmart and it's going to steal all your data and take screenshots and probably record you on its microphone. But I mean, hey, it costs $50. So
why worry about it? Well, our last take of the week. This is a little bit different security and privacy story that you found that I thought was kind of funny.
Which one is this one?
Bank of America warns social security numbers, IDs, and other sensitive customer data potentially exposed in third-party document destruction blunder. So they want.
I don't think that this is funny.
Well,
that's why I was like, "What article are we talking about? This is terrible."
No, well, here's the thing: a destruction vendor did not secure bank-related materials appropriately in transport. Some documents were found outside the secure containers on the exterior of the financial center. So I imagine like a dump truck and there's just like papers that are just like the wind is keeping on the side of the truck as it goes down.
Yeah.
But the bank has not declared how many accounts are affected nationwide, noting only that at least 2 customers in the state are affected in Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's not your typical thing, but I mean, you're only as good as your weakest link. And if the document shredding company is the weak link, then you've got issues.
Yes, yeah. So that was a interesting one, but after that horrible story, let us move on to our bonus odd take. This was actually in a list that you had found, Dave, and I figured we might spread a couple of them out.
Okay.
Some interesting sites, but we might show up on this one every once in a while. You can find it at the URL nobody.live, and what it does is I think it's just Twitch, so we would not show up on there, but it shows live streams that nobody is watching.
Yeah. And if you visit the Dave Plays Games stream, this would qualify because it's usually like, so here's this thumbnail. Yeah. So here's a guy. I think my autoplay is turned off here. There we go. Let's mute this. So yeah, there's the guy. He's there.
Yeah.
He's moving. Nobody's watching. To speak to Randy personally, call. Here you go, everyone.
We should call him up.
432-888-8050.
I wonder if it shows that we're connected or if it kind of strips that out on the site.
I don't know. Do you want to call him on your Google Voice number real quick to see?
Personal prophetic word.
Hey, you know what'd be funny is if we had a prank section like that on our show where we call
Yes.
somebody who's live.
Dave plays pranks. And producer Todd says Randy is terrifying. He kind of looks like a Guy Fieri with a large cross behind him. A well-worn Guy Fieri, we'll say. What kind of mouse is he using there? And he's using Restream.io, so he is paying to stream on multiple. So maybe he has a large YouTube
that's
following.
True. Well, he's not actively talking to anyone though, so
yeah, that's not very. He's not being very. I'm gonna try to look him up on Prophecy, see if he shows up on YouTube. But yeah, if he's not talking to anybody. So nobody.live, you can go support some people that nobody's watching their live streams.
Maybe this one's not live because it's like got a spinning.
It's not live.
It's actually not live.
Whoa. I found the Mistura Brasileira, but it's like they're not actually live. It's like pre-show stuff. But a lot of gamers that are streaming out to the ether. We feel their pain. We can relate.
And you might say, Dave, you need to take that NBA game off of the TV or you're going to be taken down with a copyright strike. But no, this is NBA 2K video game. They look pretty realistic these days.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. The crowd is a little lacking.
That stadium is terrible. What?
Maybe that's when they were. Maybe they're doing a season from when they played in the bubble during COVID, where like people weren't allowed to watch.
Maybe, but they've sure got the reflections on the floor, so that's where it's at.
Nice.
Anyway, if you are interested in supporting Nobody, go to nobody.live, and I love their URL.
Yeah. Streams with nobody watching, and you can refresh and find all kinds of interesting stuff there, I am sure. But lots of video games, and go find it. Mr. Beast used to do that back when he was not as popular as he is today. He would go on Twitch and find somebody that was streaming to nobody, and you would just go in and like donate $10,000 to them or something.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Hey, Grandma says, Randy, give me a break. I should suggest a live stream to the train guy. His mother would be thrilled. Yeah, you could go out and just live stream.
With live streams is you don't ever know what's going to happen. So
yes.
You want to turn
Unless
your
you're a live
off.
Stream like us, when we always know what's going to happen and never have anything unexpected.
Yeah, well, we should actually try to evoke Wes by saying his name, because usually we'll say, hey, Wes had it. I know you mentioned him earlier, but he didn't come out. So
he told me when I was talking to him today that he was going to try to make it, but he had like family stuff getting in the way.
Come on.
Yeah.
Look, everybody. Let me go to my. It streams every week, Tuesdays at 6:30, without fail. You can plan your family events around the podcast. Am I the only one?
Almost without fail.
Usually without fail.
Yes, 49 weeks a year. We are Tuesdays at 6:30, which reminds me, Dave, we need to talk after the show about what's coming up in a couple weeks. But anyways, you know what's coming up next?
What's that?
Our picks of the week.
I'm excited. And I'm
brought
not sure
to you by Movo. Or Movo.
Hey, Grandma says, poor Nate with that eye twitch. I'm not exactly sure what's going on.
I tried to do my Winky voice for the that we never have anything. That's my Winky voice. So if you're just listening to the audio.
That's your quote. Your quote marks.
Yes.
I see. Okay. I was not looking at you, which is probably for the best. So it's my turn to go for the pick of the week. This week, my friend, I did not spend money and buy hardware. I've got plenty around, as you saw earlier. I was going to say I didn't buy software, but I did. This is a software pick of the week. And what if I told you, Nate, that you could have accountability with exercisers, with your health and fitness, accountability, but you're going to do it with fantasy creatures inspired by J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings.
I would say my wife needs to know about this because she is nerdy in that area like you are.
Yes.
So tell
Well,
us more.
the interesting thing is that due to copyright, Fantasy Hike, which is the app we're going to be talking about, does not feature Bilbo Baggins or Frodo Baggins or Samwise Gamgee or all those Merry Doc and Pippin. These are different people. I can't remember what your adventure name is, but you will be competing against such players as John Snowflake, Alice Wonderfoot, and Harryfoot Potter. Some of those you might recognize.
I love it.
So
that's better than the originals.
Yeah. So I actually have it up here on my phone, and so let's go to here.
Phone view.
This is I need a phone view effect.
Just use the air horn.
So instead of going to Mount Doom, you're journeying to Mount Fire, which again, a little off brand there. But as you travel, you can select different party members or other adventurers who might be slower or faster than you. And so let's take a look at some of my stats. So in day one, I started out at, I can't remember the name, Hillside instead of Hobbiton. So anyway, there's a little animation that goes along following the lane westward. Then I'm leaving the lane, turning southwards, walking quietly over the field. So there's a nice graphic, and I'm just dragging along. This is just for your enjoyment, because when you do exercise or walk or do whatever, and you open it up, it'll progress you to your next point. But you can scroll back and forth, so you can enjoy the wonderful stuff. So here we go. We are across the stream in the narrow plank bridge. I got some driveway cam here going on. What's happening here?
Oh,
I think
people in your driveway?
I must have a daughter who's meeting someone or something. So anyway, enough of that. But see, here I've gone 4.34 miles. So it's a great way to kind of hold yourself accountable if you don't have exercise partners. So here at the top of this hill, climbing a steep slope, you'll notice Harryfoot Potter is there in the tree. His thing shows up. You can't see him because he's blending in with the tree. So I passed that guy.
Nice.
And look, Alice Wonderfoot is just a bit ahead of me. So I need to catch up with Alice Wonderfoot. And in my, how many days? Day 8, I've gone 26.6 miles towards my journey to Mount Fire. So
nice.
Look at that. Isn't that cool?
That is fun. That's a true gamification. And Wes, we did summon him. He said, it's me in the driveway.
What is he doing in the driveway? Come on in. I'm in the garage.
Get out and dance on your hood.
Yeah, there. See, we evoked him invoked him, whatever it is. So we summoned him. Oh, it is him. Is it really him? He waved.
What?
What is he doing in the driveway? Come on in, you silly fool. He is waving. He must have been driving by. That's hilarious. Oh,
Wes, we need your presence on the show.
Come on in. I can get you. There's a chair right here.
Yes,
he's probably with his family.
Our first live visitor.
That's hilarious. That would be funny
awesome.
if he came into the house. He's flashing his lights.
Wow.
The whole deal. I guess he's going to sit there and listen to the rest of the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, what better way? It's like a drive-in. Dave, during the summertime, you could open up your garage door and just have people bring their chairs and
he said he stopped by to be on the camera.
Nice. He did it.
That's hilarious. You did it, Wes.
The Rices have
win
joined.
The internet for the day.
We've talked about it. Nice work.
That was amazing.
Awesome.
Well, to put a bow on this, I exercise with my my wife, my sister, and 2 nieces right now. We connected on Apple Watch Fitness.
Okay.
You do the week-long thing.
Yeah.
And it tells you how many points you've got. So in lieu of that, if you don't have people in your life, just use the Fantasy Hike app. It is free to use. You can only go 1 mile a day. excuse me, 1 mile a
Oh,
day, and then it stops counting. I paid the, I think actually it's like $6.99 or $5.99. I paid the fee so that I had unlimited miles. I could go as many
oh,
miles as I wanted, because I want to beat Alice Wonderfoot. She's not going to beat me. Come on.
yeah. So
Um,
you can't, can you compete with real people or it's
you
just the
can.
fame?
You can
Okay.
invite people to
Okay.
compete with you. Whether I mean, if they don't pay the $6.99, they can only do 1 mile a day.
Yeah.
But maybe you walk less than a mile a day.
Maybe we should start a not nerd clan.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And
And
nerd doesn't get much nerdier than that.
they have some other premium features that you can pay, like a monthly fee or a yearly fee or a weekly fee or whatever, to get more characters to compete against that have, I guess, funny names that travel at different rates.
Okay.
I wasn't really interested in any of that, and it wasn't very clear exactly what you get for that besides other characters. So
Yeah.
I'm just excited to look at the animation and read the little kind of history of where I'm going,
Yeah.
see how many miles I've gone, and man, I'm gonna get to Mount Fire and deliver that ring or
Nice.
whatever it is in this story. So
Very cool. Well, your pick is about activity, and mine is about ultimate laziness. Now,
on
as I
brand.
teased at the beginning of the show, I did purchase this from TikTok Shop. It did arrive today. So, are you ever sitting there and you're on TikTok and you're watching some videos? I don't have phone cam like Dave. And then you just don't want to reach your finger up to switch videos. You want to be able to scroll without touching the screen. Maybe you're just really tired or something.
I've never been asking
Well,
these questions.
that's when you would want one of these bad boys. The wireless Bluetooth remote control, new remote control page turner Bluetooth scroller ring, short video and music camera shutter remote controller scrolling ring black is the Amazon description there. So I believe that one's $15. Mine was $6 on a special on TikTok, and I had seen a bunch of videos, and I was like, I'm a tech person. I could see advantage to this gadget. I was kind of playing around with it. You can use it in the camera app. Now it does use, oh, and we lost Dave's camera.
Yeah, I'm
It
still
does
here.
use the assistive touch features through accessibility. So it's not because the iPhone doesn't support a Bluetooth mouse without that. The iPad or obviously your computer would. But you do have to use the assistive touch. So there are some settings that I still want to play around with it. I am not going to use it to sit there and just scroll through TikTok.
So
But for
I
doing camera stuff
yeah,
or,
it makes me wonder because a lot of people get Bluetooth page turners because
oh,
Amazon has
yeah,
taken all the
yes,
pages off page turn
yeah.
buttons. So they would that work for my Kindle?
Yes, yes, it would work for the Kindle, and
Okay.
then you can also it's got a center power button that would be like your shutter control. It's still got my face in there, so it's not focusing.
Yeah.
And then it's got up, down, left, right, so you can go like if I'm on TikTok watching this NCIS video, I can hit the right button and it'll go into that person's profile. I can hit the back button and I
Interesting.
believe it'll go into TikTok Shop. Um, so you can buy more stuff. But if you use that link that I put in the beginning of the show notes to get an $8 credit for
Yeah.
TikTok Shop, you could sign up for TikTok, get your $8 credit, and then buy one of these with free shipping, and you would have it. It does. I was very excited to see it has USB-C
Oh, yeah, that's nice
for
for charging.
charging. On the instructions, it actually said, or on the back of the box, it said that it has a 30 milliamp hour
Oh,
battery, which I thought was pretty funny because like our battery packs are like 10,000 or
yeah,
20,000, but
30.
the device is so small. It does use Bluetooth 5.3. So that's a pretty current
Is
one.
that even
Um,
a real standard? 5.3? I haven't heard of that one, but I
no,
guess it must
maybe
be.
it's not. Maybe it's something else. But it just came in this little plastic kind of cheapy case, which for $6.33. There's a bunch of different ones on Amazon. I do want to try connecting it to my Mac just to see what I'd be able to do there, or even maybe my Apple TV. but you could just have it on your finger. But it does work with the Kindle. So that was kind of the original device. And then I think people figured out you could use it for TikTok, and then they made videos on TikTok about using it for TikTok so they could sell it and get affiliate fees or whatever you get on there. But
I suppose
yeah,
I wouldn't mind having one for when I'm sitting outside with my Kindle and
yeah,
I got my legs crossed and I don't want to tap it, because I mean the tapping's not great. Even when I was showing you, I tapped forward a couple pages just because I
yeah.
touched the screen and now I have to go back. So yeah, interesting. Although I could use the one that Chelsea gave me that's got
The actual page turn buttons on it.
Which,
man, we might need to get that one back from you.
No,
Didn't know it was so special.
Finders keepers, losers weepers.
Oh, there's my buddy. I'm just watching TikTok here while my phone's laying on my desk, and I don't even have
Wes,
to touch.
go over to Nate's house and pull TikTok out of his hand.
Is he going to be in my driveway next? Do the double driveway, Wes? If you do show up in my driveway, I will take my camera and point it out the window at you. So just honk if you're in the driveway. But if you would like either of our picks, you can find links at notpicks.com. Where we've got all those great picks. I haven't updated it yet. And hey, Grandma, I do need to get you your $20 Amazon gift card. So send me a text or an email so I can remember to do that, because you were going to be very generous and use that for Hope's Closet, I believe, is a donation to that for some stuff. But Not Picks, we got so much gold on there. You should be doing all your shopping. Start all your shopping at notpicks.com. And when you do that and you click on one of those Amazon links, I get my anonymous reports for the Amazon affiliate program, and we get our Ramazon purchase of the week. And
I'm just trying to look for a cool device here.
There's my chair armrests isn't a cool device.
Hold on, let me look here.
Come on.
Okay, I was wondering if I remembered to do this one. I'm
still
really liking this. I'm really liking this product.
Yes, I need to pick. I think they have some Anchor stuff on TikTok. Maybe if people use those links and I get a credit, I will do that. But our Ramazon purchase of the week, somebody purchased an Anchor product, one of our favorites. This is not one I was familiar with. The Anchor 2.4G wireless vertical ergonomic optical mouse for work, multi-device connectivity, 800, 1200, 1600 DPI, 5 buttons for laptop, desktop, PC. Black.
Wow, that was a lot.
It has 4.2 stars on 51,149 ratings. Now, these vertical mice, I can see the 4.2 rating because I've used a couple, like when I'm helping somebody with their computer and they have one. There is a learning curve, but people that love these things swear by them. And this is a very reasonably priced, $26. It's on a $2 sale right now.
Yeah,
7% off.
Have you ever used one of these before?
Not long term. When I've had to sit down at somebody's desk and try to do something. But it is ergonomic because your hand's kind of resting on its side, so it's a more natural position.
It's more because your radius and your ulna, yes, those are the real. They're not twisted. They're more natural.
Dr. Dave in the building.
But I use the trackpad is what I use.
Yeah. Yes. And I use my TechNet Bluetooth and USB little tiny mouse that I have really liked. Previous pick of the week. Yeah. But yeah, if you bought the Anchor,
your thing.
I know. I'm just going to, from here on out, no more mouse, just pure ring controller.
If it had a little nurple on there too.
Oh, it would be. Cool. There's probably an upgraded model somewhere with a nurple on it. If not, we're going to call Matthias and have him create one.
That's true.
Our buddy at Matthias Keyboards. That we visited at CES. But yeah, if you bought that Anchor vertical mouse, let us know. I would just like to know what you think of it. If it's your first vertical mouse, if you've had multiple, because again, it's one of those unique mice that some people just really love those. So
yeah, and like you said, the price is right.
Yeah, price is right. And hey, Grandma says Dave's showing off his medical terminology skill.
Yes,
who knew?
It's kind of funny. Most of the sciencey type stuff I learned in high school or grade school, I retain. I remember nothing else from my childhood. It's all a blur. So weird facts. So maybe I should go on. Not Celebrity Jeopardy. What's under regular Jeopardy? Like Jeopardy Junior?
Yeah, Kids Jeopardy.
The kids are pretty smart. Maybe someone a little bit lower than that.
Yeah. Are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Yeah.
And hey, Grandma said, did I miss the Nurple episode? No, that does not exist. Maybe we'll do one in the future. No, but it used to be.
That's for Patreon. Lenovo? That's for Patreon people only.
Yes. Yeah. On Lenovo laptops, I believe they had a little. It was like a pencil eraser that you used as the mouse up there as an option. I don't think Nurple was the official term. Do I dare Google Nurple?
No, I'm gonna.
A beer, a bag, and a plant is what came up.
All the images blurred when I typed what I typed, so I don't think my thing is. So what? I thought it was like HP or something.
No, I can't remember who had them, but a Nurple bum bag. Nurple may also refer to a bum bag or fanny pack. Well, I've been calling them fanny packs all these years when I could have been calling them Nurples.
I know. What the heck? I don't understand. This is impossible for me to find. Oh, I found one. It's Lenovo ThinkPad. Here we go. That little
Lenovo, yeah.
That little thing in the middle. So a ThinkPad. But I thought IBM made the ThinkPad. So IBM is the one I think that.
IBM, and then I think Lenovo purchase IBM's computer line. Maybe that's it. And the patents to the what we refer to as a Nurple.
And I just
Nurple
said that,
is a great word. Hey, Grandma.
I said that because I didn't want to say the other word that's adjacent to it.
Yes, yes.
Because we are a family show. Although, I mean, that's not really a.
And according to Urban Dictionary, it is related to. There's a purple Nurple that results in a hurt other word that the old grab and twist.
The old grab and twist will result in a purple Nurple.
Well, before we go further and get banned by YouTube or the Rice family's vehicle.
Yeah, that's true.
Let us wrap up the show. Thank you to everybody that joined us live. Thank you, Wes, for showing up in Dave's driveway. That was amazing.
I wish you would have stepped out of the car and did a big jumping jack or something. But the hand wave was nice.
The hand wave was nice, or he could have ripped his shirt off and jumped in the river like our 400th episode. But
yes, that would have been cool.
With that, we will end the episode. Thank you so much, whether you're watching on YouTube. Hey, remember to like and subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Hit that bell. Leave a comment. Reach out. Go to notpicks.com. With that, get out there and better.
Tech better, I think is what you meant to say.
On the fifth time that you have to play the song because we kept talking forever.
Yes.